I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
happy
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go out.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is
Just knock it off, you scumbucket.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go out. Ready to make
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the bloodstain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better you, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about it.
happy days.
It's just one of those,
Happy days.
it's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go out. Ready to make
Feel like shit. My suggestion is keep the distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
My day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I'm looking over like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here,
Not Robert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 62 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. I hope everyone is doing fine, for especially for this Thursday evening. It's absolutely pissing it down out there, but hey, I can just ignore that, and then we can just get right into the show. So, I do apologize that I'm starting half an hour later than usual. There is a reason for that, and the reason for that was it was prior engagements I was dealing with at the time. But everything's been sorted out, so no any more interruptions or anything like that at all. I got enough time to actually to do the show, basically. So I'm going to see if I can do the show up until 8 o'clock, because I actually do have quite a number of topics to talk about. Well, mainly 3, but there's a lot of stuff to go over regarding to that. Of course, let me just have a quick look and see who's in the chat as per usual. I do appreciate people sharing the stream. Of course, we got Joe in the show just now. Well, in the chat, I should say. Hello, Joe. Thanks very much for being my guest this past Sunday. And of course, finally, we got that episode up and running. So I hope everyone's enjoyed that. So, but thanks again for watching the show, Joe. I'll cover the 2 messages I put on in the chat in just a brief moment here. But firstly, Cameron Sandwich, how you doing? Thanks very much for watching. Kenny Hinney, how you doing? Thanks very much for watching. Rory Herbert, as per usual, thanks very much for watching. Amanda Lee, thanks very much for watching, as per usual. We have also English Rose, thanks very much for watching, as per usual. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Inshallah, Streaky Bacon, how you doing? Thanks very much for watching the show. Kitchen Skillet, how you doing? Thanks very much for watching. We have also No Name, even T2. Even the cover ad to the stream was some extremely creepy. My friends accepted me for the bloated trans monster I am. Oh dear. I did not expect that when it comes to the ads, but it's YouTube by the end of the day. I mean, we all know that YouTube is a completely lefty fucking website at this point, but if I saw an ad like that, I would not be surprised at this point, especially with the current climate we're in just now. I think there's a new face here, Luigi Lavazza. Buena Sera Messi. Hope I pronounced that right. But thanks very much for watching the show. We also have Roscoe in the chat. Thanks very much for watching the show, Roscoe, and for being here. Appreciate that. We have Hightower 005. How you doing? Thanks very much for watching the show. Jemima Puddle Duck. How you doing? Thanks very much for watching the show. Ragnar Iron Spear. Evening to you too. Thanks very much for watching. Who else? English Weather. How you doing in English Weather? Thanks very much for watching. We also have Bill Athling. How you doing, Bill? Thanks very much for watching as well. think that's me. Oh, there's Arpow. Thanks very much for watching the show, Arpow. Appreciate it. Ugly Truth, good evening to you too. Thanks very much for watching. Joe Smith, good evening. I was surprised this channel has ads. Well, I'm monetized at this point now, which I'm actually surprised that I was able to get monetized on YouTube, especially because of the content I put up. And also there's like a, well, dare I say, like a community guideline strike that I thought would have been like a what's the old saying, like like a stake through the cask. Well, I don't know if that's like an old saying. Basically, I've had like a community guideline strike, and I thought there's no way because of that I was ever going to get monetized or become a YouTube partner. But hey, I decided to submit it in to YouTube, and they said, "Yep, that's completely fine," which I was really surprised with. But hey ho, it's not like, to be quite honest with you, it's not like I make any money from YouTube anyway, even from super chats. I think it just goes directly into nail in the coffin. Thanks, Streaky Bacon. I think that just goes directly into YouTube anyway, because it's something to do with sorting out like taxes or something like that. But I really can't be bothered when it comes to that. But anyway, I'll continue on from there. But Joe, thanks very much for watching the show. Appreciate that. I think that's me up to date with chat anyways, which is really good stuff. Cool. So adding on to what I'm just saying there about me being a YouTube partner, again, don't know how, but for those in the chat, if you've noticed my messages in the chat earlier on, if you would like to support me financially at all, it could be either two ways. You could either donate to me through Ko-fi or directly to my PayPal account. And when I'm saying that, please don't feel obligated as if you have to give me money because you're a subscriber of mine, because you watch my content on a regular basis. All I'm saying is with that, the option is there. If you would like to support me financially, that'd be great and awesome. Of course, I appreciate your generosity. If you do not want to donate to me or anything like that, but continue on watching my content, again, that is completely fine for you to do so. My point being is the option is there, of course. So I'll keep posting the links in the chat just in case if people missed it or anything like that at all. But anyway, again, thanks very much for coming along on the show, and I do have some topics to cover. There's also Docskin in the chat. How you doing, Docskin? Thanks very much for watching. How you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm doing just fine. Just trying to get by, working this past week, trying to come up with topics. And even not just that, but while I was at work today, or even for the past couple of days, when I was just working away, I have a couple of ideas I really want to do for this podcast. Something that might catch people off guard, that might come off as very out of left field, that type of thing. Of course, when I say that, I don't want to instantly it's nice to have options. Indeed, RPL, it is nice to have options with that, definitely. So I don't want to give away what I'm planning to do for this podcast in terms of like future episodes. All I'm saying is some episodes will be completely different than others. I'll say that. That's all I'm going to say on that on the matter. So, right then, let's see. Be creative, Chief. Oh, don't worry, no name. I definitely will be creative. I got some ideas. I got lined up for that. So I'll definitely see what I can come up with that. So, and hopefully you guys will appreciate that. But we'll definitely see. Dotskin. YouTube has censored the word clown roll, by the way. Tried to say it twice and it straight just deleted. Oh, that's just that's ridiculous. That, I mean, of all things to ban, especially on this platform, it really just goes to show just how hypersensitive YouTube has really become as a platform. Which I would say, definitely check out Odyssey at this point, or Telegram, Gab, but I would definitely recommend Odyssey at this point. Now, even though that's a bit, well, not hypocritical, but I do use Odyssey, especially if there's some videos I can watch. I'll just go directly onto there. But I would definitely say when it comes to our content, I would definitely check out Odyssey as the ideal platform for people to go on to. There we have Cyborg in the chat. Hello, Cyborg. How you doing? Thanks very much for watching the show. And also thanks to those in the chat who have shared my stream tonight, whether it be PA Scotland, Sensum Communum. I believe PA Wales have also shared it as well, which I really do appreciate that. So those who have shared the stream, thanks very much, and hopefully you'll enjoy tonight's episode. So I have the first topic at hand, which actually came to my attention this past week by PA Scotland, and it's all to do with the SNP and also Nicola Sturgeon. Well, more specifically, the SNP as a whole. So, folks, COVID-19. Now, I know this is a very, very cliche topic to cover, especially this has been going on for the past almost 2 years now. But even after the past 2 days, the past 2 years of this pandemic going on all around the world, by the way, the S&P have finally have a solution to the problem of trying to prevent the spread of the virus all across the nation, more specifically in schools across the country. Now, you think now you think that the idea of trying to prevent spreading COVID-19, yeah, COVID is so 2020. Yeah, it definitely is, Amanda Lee, but uh, SMP equals simp, laugh my ass off. um, so when it comes to the spread of COVID-19, you think that the SMP would implement more air purifiers or air amplifiers, whatever they're meant to be called, across all schools across the country? Well, that's not what they're planning on doing. Instead, they're no, just bear with me here, right, folks. Bear with me here. Their idea is, oh, let's actually chop the bottom of all of the classroom doors, and that way it will increase like air. What is it they say, like air purifying into the classrooms? Now, you think saying that, you may instantly think, come on, that there's no way the SNP would do something like that. That sounds like the most retarded idea possible. Well, according to the SNP, if I can share the screen real quick, and this article is from the Scottish Sun, complete cancer of a news article, I know, but it's here's the article, the take on this regarding to that. So, chop of the class. SNP plans to spend £300,000 chopping the bottoms off classroom doors to improve ventilation in schools. Now, folks, this is not a joke. This is not a parody. This is not satire. The I, I can't even say it with a straight face, but this is 100% serious. This is what the SNP thinks is the best possible way to improve air ventilation in Scottish classrooms by by, by, by chopping off the bottoms of the classroom doors. Like that's gonna. I'm sorry, folks. I'll try and keep calm, but I'll try and keep calm. But this is just the most ridiculous I can't see. I can't even see it with not only with a straight face, but I can't even put words into just how flat out ridiculous this has to be. I mean, just look at this. Okay, I got the whole article here. This is quite a lengthy article, but I'll try and give give my points about it throughout. So anyway, here it is. SNP ministers plan to spend £300,000 chopping the bottoms of thousands of classroom doors to increase airflow and stop the spread of COVID-19. Education Secretary Shirley Ann Somerville revealed that details amid anger over failures to tackle school ventilation problems 2 years into the pandemic. So, yeah, so basically 2 years into COVID-19, you think throughout that time the SNP would come up with a better way to sort out the spread of COVID-19, especially when it comes to ventilation problems that they've been facing. Well, 2 years later, what seems to be the solution? Oh, I know. Again, let's just chop the bottoms of each and every classroom door so we can improve the air ventilation that way. You can't make this up. This is something, folks. This is something that well, I wouldn't say myself, but someone from PA Scotland or any of our guys would come up with as like a parody, as like a way of making fun of the SNP. But in this case, it's not. It's 100% pure and honestly, it's like deadly serious. Like, this is the SNP's best possible way to sort out this particular issue. Okay. As you can see from doors will be chopped to increase airflow in schools. I mean, look at that. This is what they're. This is what this is the idea they're going to be going for regarding to this issue going on. Oh, oh my days! This is SMP. What the fuck are you doing? Like what are you doing at SMP? This is yeah, everyone is saying in the chat, it's playing madness. Yeah, Doskin, this comes off like a Monty Python joke. Yeah, this would be a Monty Python joke. It's so flat out ridiculous. There's no way this could be something that's taken seriously. Oh, I thought they cut it in half. No, no, this would be well. No, of course they're not going to go the full way, maybe chopping it in half or anything with that. No, it would be just the bottom bit. But even then, Doskin, this still right here is still beyond ridiculous. Measure and extractor fan units as a longer term solution, quote unquote. But she added, finally, we have assumed the door in the example space will need to be undercut to increase airflow at a cost of £150 in line with business ventilation fund guidance. So basically, instead of actually going for, as I said, purifiers, air filters, or even sorting out the problem of, oh, I don't know, fixing the air ventilation shafts. I mean, that actually might solve the problem. No, 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 no. Of course not. No, no, no. Instead, wait, what's up with the chat? Someone has stolen. Oh no, tell me it's not. Am I sorry, folks? Am I? Yeah, it looks like I'm back on the show. Right. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know if it's anything to do with my connection at the moment, um, but no, it's fine. Hopefully, I'm back. Can everyone still can still hear me? Sorry, just real quick, and I'll be back to. You're okay now, right? That's fine. No worries. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, I'll just continue on from there. So, but yeah, as I was saying, so basically, instead of actually fixing the problem by, um, sorry, but basically to implement every classroom known to man all across the nation, of implementing air filters or purifiers, or even just fixing up the air ventilation shafts or anything like that at all. No, 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 no. Of course, that would be too expensive according to the SMP. What would be cost effective or anything like that at all is let's just cut off the bottom parts of the doors, each and every one of them, to increase air ventilation across the classrooms. And it's just why? It just well, for kitchen skillet, can't open the windows in modern schools. It's all recycled air, stuffy. Well, see, the problem with opening windows, which is, to be fair, a valid point from yourself, kitchen skillet, there will be a problem in terms of it still being in February or late January, early February. We're still in the midst of winter. I mean, yeah, people will say it's getting a wee bit warmer from time to time, but it's still relatively cold. So of course we wouldn't want the school kids to, or even the teachers for that matter, to suffer in those types of conditions. But it's just, but that's not the solution. They'll get cold toes. Well, yeah, I mean, why not the top? I don't know. It's just it's so beyond the parody. It's beyond the joke with this. It's you can't look at this with a straight face or anything like that. But anyway, continuing from there, the Nats bigwig earmarked a total of £4.3 million for the set of remedial actions, but added costs could vary significantly school by school. She added, we do not, for example, expect that every problematic space will need, there's a SJW buzzword again, space will need an air cleaning device. But Rival said the proposal to cut off the bottom of doors to improve airflow in around 2,000 classrooms was an insult to teachers and pupils. Yeah, this is an insult. This is basically a huge insult to all the teachers and pupils who have to, I would imagine, constantly have to wear masks in classrooms. In fact, even just going back on top again, you can see the image here. I don't know which school this is, but you can see all of them are all wearing masks, even in the middle of fucking classroom. But oh no, the only time they're allowed to take it off is when they're outside of the classrooms eating or drinking. Like it's ridiculous, beyond ridiculous. Where was I here? Oh yeah, WebDem Education spokesman Willie Rennie said, rather than putting an air filter in every classroom, the Education Secretary's solution is sending a handyman round to chop off classroom doors. Well, I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong in that fact. That's basically the SNP solution to this overall problem. Is basically get a handyman out to every single school in Scotland and chop off the bottom bit of that door of each and every single door. It's oh dear, oh dear. We are 2 years into the pandemic and 3 terms into the school year, but only now has the Scottish government admitted there is a problem in thousands of classrooms. Yet this could only be the tip of the iceberg. He added, opening windows in winter and chopping off doors is an insult to the thousands of teachers and pupils who deserve a better solution to the problems of ventilation. Yep, again, I'm not a fan of him, but again, he's absolutely right on the mark there, definitely. Um, Let me see here. On top of all that, there will be concerned parents wanting to know what the implications of this will be for the fire doors and school security. Again, that is also a very valid point with that because I wouldn't imagine they have to do this with every single door in the school building because, again, that's a very valid point. What about school security? What about fire doors? Because if all of if these handymen, if you will, were to go to every single school in Scotland and chop off the bottom bits of each and every single door, not just classrooms, but every single door imaginable, is that going to affect the the fire hazards when it comes to these fire doors as like exit points? Is it going to affect the school security doors? Maybe people might take advantage of anything like that, but I don't know, man. It's a really door circumcision, oy vey, ugly truth, Jesus. Dear. But alas, is a very valid point nonetheless with that. The very valid point. Scottish Labour's education spokesperson Michael Mara, I believe that's a person I talked about on the show before, said the SNP have been cutting schools for years, but never quite so literally. This is a lazy solution from a government refusing to invest in what really works. School ventilation in schools is seen as a key way of stopping airborne COVID particles spreading. Earlier this week, we told how SNP ministers face calls to install filtration devices in every classroom to secondary school pupils can finally ditch masks. Despite relaxing other rules, the Scottish Government has refused to ease the mask mandate for mandatory pupils, which applies at all times apart from when eating and drinking. As I just mentioned that earlier on just now, the Lib Dems said an end to the requirement after 15 months could be brought about if air filters are installed in every classroom. Mr. Rennie also pointed out Education Secretary Shirley Ann Somerville was last week unable to provide the total number of air filters devices that are being used in school classrooms. Well, that was probably because she doesn't really give a shit. She doesn't really give a damn. So you're telling me that she's too busy, and I would rather focus on, say, stuff like, well, not just her, but the rest of the SNP would rather focus on asking inappropriate questions to school pupils about whether or not if they had anal sex or not. Well, oh no, that's completely fine. You could definitely do that, and that's important to spread across all the schools in Scotland. But God forbid that you can't even install every single air ventilation all across these classrooms in every school in Scotland. Like, God forbid, God forbid. It'll be rats in the classroom next. Yeah, probably, Rory Herbert. Probably. I can't believe English didn't think of this first. Well, do you know what? You know what, Rory? Oh, no, sorry, not Rory. Bramall. I wouldn't imagine the English government or the Westminster government would come up with something like this because they're not as fucking retarded as the SNP. But it's just this is ridiculous. Where was the part? Because I was reading a little bit of this earlier on. Where was the part about the mask thing? Um, blah, 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 blah. I'll read this part first because it does come into play when it comes to this mask mandate. The Scottish Government's advisory subgroup on education and children's issues, including academics and public health experts, recommended the removal of masks in classrooms last autumn, but the government U-turned amid pressure from teaching unions. It later said coverings were still necessary due to the Omicron wave. Oh, here we go. The dreaded, awful, oh lordy, it's the Omicron wave that people should be afraid of, but really nobody gives a shit. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, last week Miss Sturgeon said rising cases in school children, despite falling overall rates, meant it was the wrong time to remove the mask requirement in schools. This week, she said that even though an Omicron-fueled spike in schools may be beginning to tail off, masks should stay as children are still less vaccinated than adults. Right, but they're less likely, but they're more immune to the virus because of their age. Am I correct in saying that? In fact, let me just quickly get back onto here real quick because there's something I also want to bring up as well. Now, this was on the search engine, but I just thought I would look this up as well. Again, just to make a valid point about the survival rate, depending on the ages with that. So if I get this up here real quick, post it here. And again, I'll share the dreaded cold. It's basically the equivalent of the dreaded cold with that when it comes to this. Right, this is from right, here we go. So I got something here. Now I don't know if this may be relevant to the Omicron phase that we're going through just now, but have a look at this. Right now, I don't know if I can this may be too small for you guys to see, but if it's too small, I'll see if I can view that. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So we've got age, death rate, confirmed cases, death rate, all cases. Now, I don't know when exactly this was taking place, but you can see here at the moment. So between 0 to 9-year-olds, no fatalities, 10 to 19-year-olds, 0.2, 20 to 29-year-olds, 0.2. So basically, the death rate when it comes to that of COVID-19, even says here, COVID-19 death rate, age table, list March of 2020. So this was about a year ago, but it still brings up the point that these kids are less likely to not only get infected, but they're less likely to die from catching COVID-19 because as people even in the chat just now said, it's basically the equivalent of the dreaded cold, right? If you get the cold, then you're less likely to you're not going to die from it. Essentially, it might be different if it were to be, say, in a later age, say between ages of 40, 50, 60-year-olds. Well, yeah, that might be a bit of a thing with that. But if you're around about these ages, now I know this is in America as an example of this, but still, you can still clearly see infection fatality rate is very, very low. And the survival rate, as we know, is very, very high. So this idea that there should be still mandatory masks to wear when it comes to the school pupils to wear it because, oh no, that the Omicron is just so deadly and all of that. Well, here we have evidence to showcase that it's not as bad. It's basically the equivalent of receiving the cold, essentially. There's people in the chat making points about that as well, real quick. Dissident thoughts. Omicron is harmless to kids. I had it over at Christmas, and none of my household did. Just felt a bit groggy for 2 days. You know, that might be the same with me because I remember I had something like that post the 27th of December after I had a meet up with all the guys from PA Scotland. I remember having something like that. I had no taste, no sense of taste, no sense of smell. I was feeling quite groggy, and I did feel quite tired, very fatigued because of that for a few days afterwards. but I didn't die from it. I'm still here, so so there you go. So and last week from Streaky Bacon, UK Column News had the official ONS COVID breakdown by ages. What a farce we have had to put up with. Exactly that. Well, even I just showcased there through the search engine with that. It's not as bad. It's really not as bad when it comes to that. So again, when it comes to the school pupils now have to again continue on to keep wearing all these masks, especially indoors in classrooms. I can definitely see it more as a sense of control. Basically, that's basically what it boils down to with that. So, right. I wonder if I can. Am I still sharing the screen? I'm not. I'll just get back onto the article here, and then we'll see from there with that. And I'll close these since I don't really need that anymore. Anyway, speaking to journalists yesterday, Nicola Sturgeon said Mr. Rennie should educate himself on the issue. Yeah, Mr. Rennie, like you should have came up with this idea, like not us. You know, we're the S&P. We believe this is the best idea possible for all the school pupils and teachers. Honestly, she went on, having adequate spaces under doors is an important way of improving airflow in some spaces, where perhaps that is one of the rectifications that is needed. She basically thinks this is a good idea. She honestly thinks this is a good idea of chopping off the bottom parts of each and every door as a way of improving the airwaves. Like, are you actually being serious? She actually thinks this is a good idea. Like, you cannot make this up whatsoever. It goes on to say it's not the only way. So air filtration systems on a temporary basis, mechanical ventilation systems, all of these are important to improving ventilation and airflow in classrooms. So yeah, again, let's not implement, say, air filters or purifiers or anything like that at all. No. The best possible way to solve this problem, I do apologize for repeating myself over and over again, but it's very true. The best possible solution to this problem is chopping off the bottom of each and every door. Are you fucking mental, Sturgeon? Are you actually fucking mental? Oh dear. Not all classrooms or learning spaces will need these kind of measures, but some do, and that's why the Scottish Government has provided funding to enable these things. £300,000 for this, by the way. £300,000, and that's the end of the article. Well, there is a video here we could watch, and then we'll move on to the next topic with that. Let me see here. Play the video. So 1 minute, 7 seconds.
On education met last week to review
Hold on,
COVID.
I'll just go back onto the
I also want to report that the advisory subgroup on education met last week to review COVID measures in schools and early learning and childcare settings. I can confirm that in light of its recommendations, revised guidance is being published today, which effectively returns schools and early years settings to the situation before the emergence of Omicron. The revised guidance eases requirements for bubbles or groupings within schools, and it is less restrictive in its advice on visitors to schools and on school trips. The subgroup also considered the issue of face coverings last week. It concluded that although we may be close to the time when face coverings no longer need to be worn in classrooms, assuming of course that current trends continue, we have not yet reached that stage. No one wants young people to have to wear face coverings in the classroom for a moment longer than necessary, but given the current uncertainty about infection trends in the immediate future and the relatively high level...
That's a big old man in drag. She is demented, yeah. I don't I don't know if that's a reference to this. I'm assuming that's a woman there or Sturgeon, but I'm assuming everyone has seen the old early photographs of her where she just looks like a massive tomboy. It's just I'm amazed that nobody has shot her. And I can't say that. I can't say that. No comment on that. No comment. Right. Anyway, moving on.
Of COVID in younger age groups, continued caution is prudent at this stage. The subgroup will consider the issue of face coverings again at its meeting on the 8th of February.
And that's that. So yeah, overall, completely ridiculous. I mean, it's patently absurd that the SNP thought of this idea and thought, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. This isn't going to make us look like complete fucking retards or anything like that at all. No, this will definitely solve the problem with air ventilation. And not only that, but even with that, the school kids still have to wear face masks and face coverings. She looked like an old Beetle character. Yeah. But it's just you can see just how it's ridiculous. It really is. And all of the SNP supporters, by people who will be behind Sturgeon no matter what, they have to look at this and think, yeah, I can't defend this. This is just patently absurd. There's no way I can look at this and keep supporting them with that. I remember all photos of her and Salmon. Yeah, they were quite something with that. There was something. Right then. So that was the SNP's complete utter failure on how to sort out problems within the education system. So she's power mad. That's her power jacket. Yeah, she is. In fact, there's even rumors going around like members of SNP within the government. Like there seems to be a bit of almost like a Game of Thrones type of like hierarchy, if you will, type of thing or structure regarding to that. So say for example, if there's someone from the SNP who really does not agree with Nicola Sturgeon, then they get instantly removed from being a member of the SNP, which again really does say something with that. Is almost very like a very like communist type of party or type of power structure, if you will. Toby Radley. Well, at least she's a nationalist. No, like she's not a nationalist. She if anything, she's a massive globalist, and everyone from the SNP is like that as well. They claim to be nationalists, but no. I'll even go as far to say she's so much of a nationalist that even people have asked her if there was a point where if you could rename the SNP or the Scottish National Party, would you do it? And she said yes. She would do everything in her power to rename the SNP to something else. Because, of course, people like her and her ilk have completely demonized the name nationalist. Like, whenever people nowadays hear the term nationalist, it's like, oh, then they must be this type of person. You know, there's almost like a stigma to it, like a stigma of being a nationalist when it comes to that. Don't slide the SNP off me. I can't help it resisting the lies. I can't help it. But also, welcome to watching the stream. Appreciate you being here. Right then, let's move on to the next topic. The independence grift keeps them obedient. Exactly, Ian Marr. Exactly. Well, even if you get into a debate with a Scottish nationalist, quote unquote, when they talk about the idea of a Scottish independence, you have to love their answer of like, especially when it comes to Westminster and England and all of that. Oh, we believe Scotland should be an independent nation and have no longer be controlled by all the other nations in Britain, especially England. It's like, okay, so then what's your solution to that idea? Oh, I know. We want Scotland to be independent, but then move back to the European Union. It's like, what? You know, like again, it's completely patently absurd. It's absurd. It's like, okay, mate, so let me get this straight. You, a Scottish nationalist, believe that Scotland should be an independent nation, but then also rejoin the European Union, which is an even bigger. It's not that Westminster is a bureaucracy or anything like that, but all the European Union are a bunch of bureaucrats. We would never have a say who gets voted in or out when it comes to the EU. And you would want Scotland to move from one union to another union as a way of making it an independent nation. That makes no sense. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Woodlander, real quick. I'm starting to think that the dam will burst and that the resulting chaos and anti-government feeling could all be part of the plan for the NWO. Yeah, I can see your point with that, Woodlander. I would not be surprised with that, to be quite honest, if something like that to be occur. Another point I wanted to make when it comes to Scottish independence is a good thing. And resisting the lies in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong in saying this if you can, of course, if you don't mind. Kenny, how is that independent at all? Exactly. It's not independent. That completely defeats the point of Scotland becoming an independent nation if it were to go back to the European Union. And even then, I believe, again, Resistant Allies, correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, but regarding to this, but I believe in order for Scotland to become a European Union state, it would need to have a certain amount of debt. It would need to have. It would need to be having. It would no longer need to use the pound as its form of currency, but instead we would need to adopt the euro as our way of currency. Which I don't think the majority of the Scottish people would be in favour of that, to be quite honest. And not only that, but in terms of the time span, and this was all confirmed by a former SNP. I can't remember the guy's name, but I can't. I think he was the former SNP economics major or something along those lines. I'm not entirely too sure, but he basically confirmed that not all the stuff I mentioned just now, but he also mentioned that it would take, if we were to go back to the European Union as an independent nation, quote unquote, it would take us a long time to become a EU state. I believe they said it would take around about about say like 10 to 15, maybe possibly 20 years to be a member of the European Union. So really, what the fuck is even the point if it's just, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And even when you get into an argument with a Scottish nationalist, quote unquote, and you make those points, just watch them trip their faces. Like they're just like, what? What, are you kidding me? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, well, not that doesn't make any sense, but no, that cannot be. It's like, do your own fucking research and look this stuff up. Like it completely, yeah, our deficit is too big. Exactly. So that way, we would never be part of the EU because our deficit is way too fucking high. Look at the our Republic of Ireland. I'm assuming, for a look at an independent nation under the EU banner, we'd be fucked. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think even as you said, Ian Marr, the Republic of Ireland is a prime example of that. It's an independent state, quote unquote, but it's backed by the European Union. That country is beyond fucked. I mean, if the Scottish government wants us to be like that, oh my god, no, nobody would be in favor of that. And even, of course, there's a bit of good news to that. Apparently, I don't know what poll this was, but I don't know if this is a fairly recent poll. But apparently, there's like a low amount of support for Scottish independence anyway, which is a good sign. To be quite honest with you, with that. If I think it wasn't last week. It was a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago. But there was like a peaceful protest, quote unquote, with the Scottish nationalists, being like pro-independence. But apparently, now I believe this was is either Edinburgh or Glasgow. But apparently the turnout was quite small. It wasn't as big as they hoped it would be. But anyway, again, it really does show. It goes to show that the support for Scottish independence, day in and day out, is dwindling, and the SNP know this for a fact. So, let me see for English rules just real quick. They hate the English but welcome immigrants from around the globe. Nationalists, exactly that English rules. It's just, it's so. I really can't. It's beyond the joke. But it's not only is it clearly anti-white, but this whole idea of why is it that you have such resentment for your own group of people, for your own racial group, but you would want to welcome all of these migrants who not only do they not give a fuck about you, but they will probably would like to see the replacement of our people. It's just it's ridiculous with that. It's really ridiculous. Yeah, simply anti-white. Most of us are mixed anyway. The concern is the academia is breeding SNP supporters. Yeah, I could definitely see that, especially with this whole stuff that's going on, as I mentioned earlier on, with the just inappropriate questioning to the school pupils about anal sex and all of that. It's just, what the fuck are they doing? Well, of course, we all know exactly what they're doing. They're gearing up for all these pupils to not only be supporters of the SNP by basically indoctrinating them, but they're basically gearing them up to grooming them to be incredibly sexual when on an later age. I mean, just look at the majority of people, see, in their early 20s or in their 30s or whatnot. There's like a vast majority, well, not a vast majority, but there's quite a lot of people as of late on all other platforms like Instagram or Twitter or anything like that at all, are just opening up OnlyFans accounts and being incredibly sexual when it comes to that. And even Streaky Bacon in the chat just said it's subverting the family unit. Exactly that. It really is subverting the family unit. It definitely is. And it's absolutely disgusting. It really is utterly disgusting when it comes to stuff going on just now with that. So, but I think to make this part, one final part to make when it comes to this particular topic, then we'll move on to something else. I do think it's a bit of a white pilling moment. I think people in this country slowly but surely are starting to see through the bullshit with the SNP. I actually do believe that people are starting to see through the cracks within this party. Colleges and unis as well, but schools promote progressivism. Yeah, all the education system are really promoting this type of stuff. England pays millions to Scotland to pay for teaching primary schools kids about anals. Yeah, exactly that. Well, it's not just that, but whenever something goes wrong, the SNP will immediately blame, oh, it's England, it's Westminster and all of that, whenever they fuck up or anything like that at all. Never mind the fact, as English Sailor said in the chat, England gives so much money to the Scottish government, but when the Scottish government fucks up, they'll still blame England or Westminster government. It's a complete fucking joke. Anyway, I'll move on from there and move on to the next topic. Now, this was something that came to my attention, I believe it was this past week, maybe a couple of days ago, and I thought, oh, this could be something I could definitely talk about as part of a theme of like Mood of the Nation, of course. Now, of course, this may be a very silly question to ask just now to everyone in the chat. How many of you know the website Reddit? The reason I ask this is because this was a brand new R group that was created I don't know if it was like a while back ago, but this was something that came to the attention as one, or I believe the main mod of this Reddit page was featured on Fox News recently about this particular group that was formed on Reddit. And what I will do is I will share the screen real quick and showcase this. Oops, not yet. Actually, those are my notes. I don't know if anyone in the chat may know this already, but this was something I thought I'm going to definitely talk about this because, and also the backlash from this is just absolutely stunning, I must say. But let's have a look at this real quick. And then see from here. So I'll just share the screen again real quick. It's kind of interesting. The SNP reminds me of a lot of Texas and the US. They want to separate from bureaucracy from DC, but still promote Zionist showing, etc. Yeah, good point. Good point with that. It's the blatant hypocrisy from that party. It's astounding with that. Didn't Ghislaine Maxwell have a Reddit group? Never been on Reddit, Fed Just Key, I'm not entirely too sure with that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Reddit page specifically for that, but anyway. Also, what I'll do, folks, real quick, I'll just mention this as well. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I just thought that I would just give out the option of this once again. If you would like to support me financially, of course, you could do so through two platforms I'm on just now, either Ko-fi or by PayPal directly. Again, this is only if you would like to support me financially for tonight's episode or throughout when I'm not live on Mood of the Nation. Again, please don't feel obligated as if you have to donate or anything like that at all. If you would like to donate, then the option is there. And if you do donate, that's completely very generous of you to do so, and I greatly appreciate that. If you don't want to donate, again, that's also completely fine to do so, or to not do so. It's entirely out of your own volition to donate to myself if you want to with that. But again, the links are there. The option is there if you want to donate or anything like that at all. So But thanks anyway with that. Reddit is gay. Indeed, it is gay. We're going to the platform with that. So, oh dear. Right, I'll have a look at that just now. But anyway, I got the page in question about the page we talked about just now, and here it is. Backlash ensues after moderator from Reddit's anti-work subreddit was interviewed on Fox News. Yeah, this was like late January, so this was quite a funny news story regarding to that just now. So let me have a look at this. Controversy ensued after a moderator from Reddit's anti-work subreddit of more than 1.7 million members went live on Jesse Waters' Fox News show. I'll read this part again, right, because of how many members this subreddit has, and anti-work subreddit. 1.7 million members. Just let that sink in, folks. Of the amount of people actually do look at this and actually take this seriously. It's oh dear. Anyway, so let's we'll have a look at this part right now. The segment, which was about the war against working, had the mod Doreen Ford on to discuss the subreddit and movement, which has been seeing explosive growth during the COVID-19 pandemic. But things immediately started to nosedive when viewers noticed the mod showed up on the program looking unprepared and disheveled. Well, this is like actually I'll come back to that when we actually watch the video. So. Looks like someone who would wear a girl suit made out of real skin. Jesus Christ. Dear. And of course, it's all over Twitter when it comes to this particular event, if you will, the subreddit. The anti-work Reddit mod on Fox News was rough. And there are some images that tie into that just now. We'll just have a quick look at this as well. Trannable. Oh dear. So of course there was the first image and the responses to it as well. As we can see here. Maybe don't try to have an unkept social awkward dog walker be the representative of anti-work. I worked 40 hours plus hours a week with a respectable profession. This loser shouldn't be doing interviews, let alone being a mod. Absolute cringe. I'm a big fan of our anti-work and the statements behind it, but damn, those were some softball questions, and we don't need to be represented by someone who looks like a clown. Even some of the members of this whole subreddit, even they are calling this guy out. Oh my god. Let me see from Joe real quick. Our show, episode 61, is back up on here now, guys. We had to take it down to remove something as I made a boo-boo. If anyone's not seen it, it's back on here in Moody's vids. Yes, thank you for pointing it out, Joe. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you missed episode 61 with myself and my guest, Joe, you can easily catch that on my uploads, either after the show ends or, of course, during the show, whenever you like to, of course. But anyway, the poor video quality, the low-grade apartment background, etc. Literally everything about this video screamed, I am completely unprepared and put zero thought into what I'm doing. Oh, dear. Question, did you think about putting on clean clothes and looking representable to help present your case on national TV? Answer, no. Was this whole thing winged off the cuff? Absolutely. Dear. Yeah, you could tell he was not prepared whatsoever throughout this entire interview. Biz reacts to Reddit anti-work mod, refusing to step down after catastrophic Fox News appearance. Yeah, you know what? I'll come back to these just after this video, because I really want to cover this video just now, because it's just it's pure gold. I've seen people in the chat, I mean, have already said they've kind of seen this video already, but just for the context of this overall topic, it's it really is something. But we'll watch the video. So
is like a good work day. How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal society?
Right. Also, sorry, I'm just gonna pause a couple times again just to avoid like copyright and also just for like commentary purposes and all of that. So, but uh just this next part here, what the guy says. I know it's supposed to be a woman, but no, I like fuck you. I'm not gonna this that's a guy. Okay, that's a guy pretending to be a woman. Okay, sorry, but not sorry. Let's just let's just continue on from there. So with this part, so
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And
I
what do
think
you
a lot of
do,
people feel.
Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
oh God.
And how
Yeah. So
how
I
old
find a
are
lot
you,
of
if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
Oh. Oh God, I felt that. I I felt that. Oh, so here you have this guy. I know it's not. I don't care if it's transphobic, Joe. I don't care. Like this guy who's a mod of a subreddit called anti-work and believe that people shouldn't be forced into doing hard labor or anything like that at all, which that alone is just retarded. Okay, like people have to work. Okay, if you want to have some kind of self-respect for yourself or anything like that at all, people need to work and all of that, right? And the presenter, well, even I think it was him who mentioned about the I'll put the cursor right around his nose. Put the whole mentioned about like the 20 to 25 hour weeks when it comes to that. The presenter asked, "Oh, what is it you do?" "Oh, I'm a dog walker," and he mentions that he's 30 years old. Oh God! Like the whole dog walker thing. Like that's like something like maybe. I don't know. Like, what would be the ideal age range for someone to do that? Maybe like kids maybe doing that, maybe early teens, mid-teens or something like that. Just like a way for them to experience work life and then just slowly but surely building up their confidence in what earning a living would be like. And you have this complete douche nozzle who's just like, "Oh, I'm against work. People shouldn't be forced to do like harsh labor. I'm a tranny." It's just, it's yeah, it is pure cringe, and I felt that. It's pure gold. That moment where it's like, "Well, what do you do?" "I'm a dog walker." "How old are you?" 30. Ah, God Almighty.
You're 30. Okay. And is there something you want to do besides being a dog walker? Do you aspire to do anything more than dog walking, or is that kind of your pinnacle?
I love working with dogs. If I
Wait a minute, for Aunt Sally. Hello, Aunt Sally. Dog walking is a boomer job, is it? Yeah, but I can I guess, but even still, like a guy at that age, like 30, right? Right. Put it this way, folks. Right. At the moment, I'm 28. I'm 28 years old. Okay. I do like kind of like manual. Well, I don't want to call it manual labor, but I do that type of work at the moment, like 5 days per week. And it's 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the evening. There may be times where I'm like, "Oh man, I can't be bothered doing this," but you know what, if I want to earn some money, if I want some self-respect for myself, and not just for myself but everyone around me, you know I would definitely need to have a fucking job to provide for myself and possibly for everyone around me, when it comes to that. And you have this douche. I mean, what? Honestly, what could he possibly be doing if he wasn't working? Oh, I can tell you what he'd be doing. He would probably fucking playing video games, uh, painting up his Warhammer figurines or whatever the fuck you call them or anything like that, reading comic books or anything like that. Like just having too much spare time That's really what it boils down to. All of these gimpy little losers who are just like, oh yeah, I'm totally against my working all the time. No, the reason why is because you just can't be bothered. You're lazy and you just want more free time for yourselves. That's what it basically boils down to. This idea of, oh, we're against the idea of being forced into work conditions and all that. Well, no, that's not what it boils down to. You just don't give a fuck. You're too lazy, and you just want more free time for yourself to do other things, like I said, painting Warhammer figurines, or playing video games, or reading comic books, or watch, or I don't know, jack off to anime waifus, whatever the case may be. It's just like, ah, God, ah. God Almighty, I can't take them seriously. I can't. Nobody should take them seriously. They're a joke.
If I had to do this for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be super complaining. Dogs are wonderful animals. But I would love to teach. I would love to,
Teach.
work with people and
What,
stuff like that.
what
on
would
that.
you
Yeah.
teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly,
Philosophy.
just introduction to philosophy, critical thinking, reason, stuff like that.
Oh, hey, everyone in the chat, we definitely got ourselves an intellectual here. Like, fucking, what's a waifu? Oh, it's something within the anime community. I remember a few years back when I was a part of it myself. So basically, a waifu, or an anime waifu, is basically you take your favorite female character in any anime that's out there just now and say, "Oh, that's my waifu." It's basically something like that kind of a thing. So, that's basically what anime waifu. I know that sounds incredibly cringe. Believe me, it is. But see, someone like Doreen here, I wouldn't be surprised if they have like an anime pillow or anything like that at all. Because they're probably into that type of stuff. But anyway, um, yeah. What was it? Oh, yeah, about the whole. Oh, I would teach philosophy. Yes, I'm assuming they must take not only soy, but they must take a lot of dopamine as well for their intellectual thinking. But oh my God.
That.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your class, Doreen.
Even the fucking presenter, I'm sorry for pausing all the time, but even the presenter can't take this shit seriously. Oh my God. I mean, is anyone really that surprised? Like, nobody should take this guy seriously. Nobody.
would just be taking notes the whole time. And you know what? A professor is a very similar schedule than something that you're imagining. So I think that actually might work perfectly for you. Listen, I think this might not be the greatest idea, but who am I to judge? To each their own, they say. It's a free country.
Sure.
Not everything's free, but it is a free country. Thank you so much. We got to run. We got to pay the bills. It's like a good.
Oh, I'm playing it again. Yeah, so let me just get back onto here. So, oh my God. Let's have a look at this part here. So of course there was like a massive reaction to it, a lot of backlash to it. Like, people thought, oh, the Doreen should never have been interviewed by Fox News because, oh no, he made us look bad. Like, God forbid. Let's have a look at some of these responses about the post interview when it comes to that. Let me see here. Biz reacts to Reddit anti-work law, refusing to step down after catastrophic Fox News appearance. Let's have a look at this real quick. Bollocks! I don't know if I can. I don't know if you guys can see that, but is there a way for me to maybe increase the? Damn. Well, if you can't see it, I'll just read it out for you just now, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. But basically, step down. We don't want you. We don't like you. It's not because you're trans. I mean, it's probably because of that. Let's be brutally honest here. I'm an ally. I respect your identity. Do you fuck? But I don't respect your behavior, says the interview. I don't respect how you've made a laughingstock out of the anti-war community. I don't respect how you failed to communicate any of the philosophies the subreddit represents. How dare you? You made a mockery of our philosophies, like you're scum. Not because you're a guy dressed up like a woman. No, it's not because of that, but because you made us look like a fucking joke. How dare you? How dare you, kind sir? How dare you? You've made a mistake that is big enough that you need to step down. If you care about the future of the movement, you need to step down. And of course, he responds, not going to happen. Your actions are fully admitting that you care more about your status as a mod than you do for the community you moderate. We don't like you. We don't want you. Step down. I'm not into this. Sorry, hold on one sec. I'm not into this to be liked. If I was, I wouldn't be doing. I wouldn't be doing politics. Lol. Oh my god, the amount of autism regarding to they are all totally nuts. I know a European housewife. The amount of autism we're seeing from these posts are just astonishing. Anyway, uh, this is, I believe, from I don't know if this is from 4chan or maybe it's from another page. But anyway, not going to lie, it's kind of based how he's screwing over this communist community and unapologetically refusing to step down while there's nothing they can do to change that. Anti-work trannies trying to fire other anti-work trannies from a job that they do for free to try and avoid doing a real job they could get paid for. My sides are in fucking orbit right now. Holy shit. Dear. And that's that done. Move on to the next part here. Just get down with the video. So the fast-growing subreddit anti-work was shut down after a mod for the Reddit had a meltdown live on Fox News. Mods started deleting anyone talking about it, then shut down the subreddit. This mod killed the movement in 3 minutes flat. So yeah, I had a look at this as well before the show started, but basically this interview was so bad. This made a complete complete mockery, and it made the whole entire anti-work community a complete laughing stock. So much so in fact should be here. The anti-work subreddit is gone. Shut it the fuck down. Oh my god. It's gone. It's been yeeted. It's in the forever internet gulag. Oh my god. Fox News hosts a Reddit mod from their R anti-work, and it goes exactly as you expect. Immediate backlash from his own community. Rape allegations surface. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. And the subreddit goes private. What a dumpster fire, lol. It's a complete, utter dumpster fire. And this is like internet comedy central right here. Shut it down. Shut it down now. If I needed a dog walker, I wouldn't keep a dog. Anyways, yes. So speaking of rape allegations, this is where we get to the next part here. Now, this may be a part where some people might view this as quite a dark turn for this overall story. Now, all jokes aside, and all, of course, cringe aside with that, there is, as I mentioned, there is a bit of a dark turn when it comes to this overall story. And we'll get this part right here. CW sexual assault rape. So the anti-work subreddit collapsed on itself this morning after people criticized a Fox News interview no one agreed to, and apparently the mod who went on Fox is a serial rapist. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. There's Doreen himself. Another tweet says a Reddit group about labor reforms has been locked after its moderator Doreen Ford, a male who identifies as a woman, appeared on a TV interview. The publicity led to the revelation that Ford left an anarchist society after being exposed as a rapist. Oh lordy. You can't make this stuff up. This would be funny because I can guarantee these are the same progressive types who are like feminists and 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 of course, being all like pro tranny and all of that, are into some degenerate shit like raping people and all of that. Honestly, troops, is anyone in the chat really that surprised? What did they what to do, chat, is type in 1 if you're surprised or 2 if you're not surprised. And I'll definitely see what the reaction with that, because to be honest, seeing this, seeing the interview, seeing all the responses to it, and seeing the revelation to this case, I would not be surprised at that whatsoever. Definitely would not be surprised at that whatsoever. So again, chat, 1 for you're completely surprised, 2 you're not surprised whatsoever after hearing the revelation that Doreen is a serial rapist. Let's see. Woodlander, a lot of 2s there. Rory Herbert, 2, gross and demented 2. Let's see. Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of 2s. 1.5 in the chat there just now. So maybe half, like maybe in the middle. 1 because I'm surprised it wasn't children. Oh, jeez. Oh dear. Joe is putting 3 in the chat. I see. Well, cool. So I appreciate that the responses to that haven't. Looks like the number 2 was a vast majority of that, which is good stuff. Vile creature, yeah, vile creature indeed. Sorry, excuse me. The subreddit would later be unprivated this morning as mods issued a lengthy statement on everything relating to the subreddit. From its core message to the moderator in question, the interview, and the sexual assault allegations. But as you can see, the post has been removed, I believe. Oh, and there's a final bit with that. So, despite the attempts at damage control from moderators, the sub was flooded with numerous posts from members claiming that the sub should be shut down, calls for mods to be removed, and several upset Redditors voicing their irritation, with the mods taking upon themselves to act as representatives for the nearly 2 million members. And I wonder if maybe this could lead me to the statement here. Sorry, does it cut it? Mods are not leaders of the sub. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. How was this? Reddit, you're such a gay fucking website. Anyway, let's see. Serve Reddit for those. Look at this. 1.7 idlers, 46.1 not working. Jesus. Dearie me. Flashbacks of Wall Street bets intensify, impending Netflix documentary deal. In that case, I was a former mod, and the active ones plus the community all called them out on this bullshit. In this case, it is an active mod, and now it looks like the mods are fighting each other on the community. So basically, they're just at this point eating each other. At this point, who should take control? It gets so much better, so much better. Oh dear. Quit locking and removing posts. What happened to the mega thread? Why is it locked? Mods need to step down. Mods aren't going to step down. It might be worth considering if our work reform better represents your ideals. Dear. Anyway, I'll come out with that. And that's the end of that section of the video. Complete utter cringe. Wait, the fact that there's actually a subreddit about that is just beyond me at this point. It's so patently ridiculous. Just checking the time as well. Right, that should be all right. Cool. Perfect. Right, so covered all of that. What was the one I was going to cover next with that? Oh, I can quickly go over this video. Now, this was something that was posted on Telegram, and this was just complete, utter disgusting. Show me on this toy dog where Doreen touched you. Jeez. Oh, Joe. Oh, dear. Right, so this next part, now this is on this website here, Nitter, Nitter. Again, this was forwarded to me on Telegram, and this particular video is really short, but it's just complete utter disgusting. I would say. Libs of TikTok. Professor says an adult wanted to have sex with a kid is accepted as being wrong, but it's not obvious to me that it is in fact wrong. I think I recognize Myth-Informed MKE. I think I might have seen this. In fact, don't they post like a convention called MythCon or something like that? If I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'll showcase the video. This is relatively short, but just be prepared because this is quite a doozy, this particular video. So
imagine that an adult male wants to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. Imagine that she's a willing participant. A very standard, very widely held view that there's something deeply wrong about this, and it's wrong independent of it being criminalized. It's not obvious to me that is in fact wrong. I think this is a mistake, and I think that exploring why it's a mistake will tell us not only things about adult-child sex and statutory rape, but also about fundamental principles of morality.
So more and more of these people are coming out of the woodworks that, oh, we should not criminalize pedophilia. Like this should be like completely fine. You know, as long as you don't act upon it, then what seems to be the issue here? Complete fucking disgusting. I really want to look up this professor.
Imagine
because
that an adult male.
This professor might be interesting. Stephen Kirshner. Now that's quite an interesting name, isn't it? Let's have a look at this fine gentleman right here. Well, quote unquote, I should say with that, fine with that. But let me see. Stephen Kirshner. Let's see. Let's have a quick deep dive into this. Well, not deep, but you know what I mean. 5 facts, fast facts you should know about him with that. Under fire after video shows with that. Sunny Fredonia. All right. Okay. So look at this from Mia. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll just share the screen real quick with that. Let's see. Minor attracted adults soon to be departed. Oh, I mean, don't get me started on that community. The MAP community. That's on especially places like Twitter. Those people are just absolutely just disgusting regarding to that. Absolutely just vile creatures. Those people, the MAP community in that case. I saw this yesterday. It's part of a series of 6 videos. He's a effing professor. Sickle that, yeah, or sickle twat. Let's have a look at this just now. So, yeah, it's sharing the screen. That's fine. Who is Stephen Kirshner? Sunni Professor Slam for his shocking video defending pedophilia. Let me see. I mean, from the sound of the last name and of course from just looking at the guy, he looks like he's probably, or sounds like he's part of that tribe, if you will. So let's have a look here. A professor of the State University of New York. That's what it is. Okay. At Fredonia is under review after videos emerged of him defending pedophilia and insisting it wasn't obvious to him why it was wrong and why people are so against it. Professor Stephen Kirshner, who teaches libertarian philosophy. Oh, he's a libertarian. What a fucking... Well, it's not really a surprise, but yeah, this whole libertarian stance that, oh, you could do whatever you want as long as you don't, you know, hurt people or anything like that at all. This is why libertarianism is fucking cringe and gay, folks. Let's have the nose check. I mean, yeah. Is it Levant's brother? Maybe. We don't know, but possibly. Maybe cousins, you don't know, but yeah, imagine my shot, a libertarian Jew. Dear. Let me see. Where was I with that? And I know it was teaches libertarian philosophy and applies ethics at the Sunni Fredonia, which was filmed questioning whether pedophilia was in fact unethical. This video of him got viral. Its clip was shared on Twitter by Libs of TikTok, and the university is investigating the matter. Kirshner is not only a professor who is known for his dubious comments this year. Professor Andrew McGregor, who put out a tweet saying that late NFL coach and former broadcaster John Madden and his widely popular NFL computer games glamorize violence and glamorized violence and dehumanize black athletes. Oh, God almighty. Okay. In December last year, Scott Yennar, a boys school, I hope I pronounced that right, a boys state professor, was slammed for saying women should focus on having kids. Okay. What exactly is wrong with that? The idea of women should focus on having kids. I mean, is he wrong on that fact? I mean, I don't think he's wrong in saying that. Yeah, they do have very low morals, these people. These people are just complete absolute scumbags. In the viral clip shared by Libs of TikTok, a professor said, imagine that an adult male wants to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. Imagine that she's a willing participant. A very standard, very widely held view is that there's something deeply wrong with this. Well, yeah, obviously, because the girl is 12 years old, who's still a minor at that point. The adult male who wants to participate in sexual acts. I think that would be fair to say that it's not only wrong, but it's incredibly disgusting to not only would want to engage in that type of activity, but even just thinking about that type of behavior is just flat out wrong regarding to that. So, but yeah, I do agree, as Kitchen Skill in the chat saying, it's definitely just these people just have complete low morals regarding to that, very low morals. Where is that? Oh yeah, and it's wrong independent of it being criminalized. Krishna is here saying it's not obvious to me that it's in fact wrong. I think this is a mistake, and I think exploring why it's a mistake tell us not only things about adult / sex and statutory rape, and also fundamental principles of morality. The professor added in his jaw-dropping comments. Yeah, it's just one of the clips appeared to be from his appearance on the podcast unregistered with Thaddeus Russell in December 2020. Let's have a look at this.
Let me address the evolution in adult child sex. And again, I'm speculating here, but it's not obvious to me there aren't evolutionary advantages. And here's the reasons to think there are evolutionary advantages. One is when you test college-age males, surprising numbers, like over 1/5, show attraction to prepubescent individuals. I assume that's mostly girls, and that's true not only when you ask them; they self-report it, which people have got to be hesitant to self-report it, but when you use the penile responses, which are the kind of true test. So it's fairly widespread among young men, particularly young men in our society. Second, you see it in the hunter-gatherers, right? You see it in all sorts of cultures that are quite different than our own, in places like New Guinea and things like that, Melanesia. And third, you see it historically, right? It was true in adult child sex, true in ancient Japan, ancient China, ancient India, Egypt, even Great Britain. And you see in our closest cousins, the bonobos. Right? Bonobos are the closest to us genetically. So if you see the same preference for adult child sex in young males today, in hunter-gatherer societies today, in history, and our closest genetic cousins, there's excellent reason to believe, not excellent, but there is good reason to believe that there's actually a strong benefit to adult child sex. Now, what is that benefit? I'm not entirely sure. It might be that people are getting acclimated to sexuality, or they're getting prepared for a long-term bond, or it might be something else. It might be that you're bonding families together. I don't know exactly what the explanation is, but I would claim that in evolutionary terms, as best we can determine, it's more likely than not there's a strong evolutionary case for adult child sex.
Oi to the V. I'm just completely. I'm at a loss for words with that. So based on what he said there, so because of the fact that historically speaking and in an evolutionary sense, because this was more prevalent back then, that is a justification of why it should be looked at as okay for nowadays. Like, no, I don't buy that for a split second. This guy is either a fucking moron or he's a complete demented degenerate scumbag. Well, it just the fact that he was in that call, he was in that video, and he was trying to just completely just justify it is beyond me. It's completely just beyond me. The chat went quiet. Yeah, I think I don't blame the chat because it's oh my god. And there's another one here which is titled "Holy shit." So hopefully there's no way this can be like any worse than what's been said there. But let's give it a bash. Let's give a bash and seen it. So
Still the adult child sex. That's always a big seller.
Oh yeah. Well,
I had good friends who said, "Are you crazy? Do not write that book."
man, listen, you're talking to a guy who for 25 years has been making arguments more or less in defense of adult child sex in classrooms. And I don't know if it's the same argument as yours, but I even authored a piece in the Daily Beast in which I called into question the age of consent laws, which is, and I brought to bear the arguments I was making in class. And I'm going to see whether they jibe.
God Almighty! I think I recognize this dude. Wasn't he not appeared as a guest a couple times on the Joe Rogan Experience? Which that's really interesting. Really interesting. Dawson, real quick. Our version of nationalism is looking at the past for a foundation of the future. The libertarian nationalist looks at the past as a menu for acts of barbarity. Yes, very valid point. Everything that the libertarians or like say progressive types or any of these like SIFNAT types or anything like that at all, the reason why they keep bringing up stuff like individualism or say democracy and all of that, it's basically an excuse to get away of performing degenerate bullshit. That's basically what's all what really is boils down to at the end of the day. So I'll just move on from there because not only do I think check his early life section with this. Oh, I don't want to call him a gentleman because this man, and I use that term loosely, is a complete fucking scumbag. Let me have a look at his early life. Maybe this might be interesting here. Let me see. Hello, John Davidson. Thank you very much for watching the show. This is beyond sick. I feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't blame you, English Rose. This is just, unbelievable. This. Joe Smith. Age of consent laws are too low in many countries, even Western countries, to be honest. Yeah, I could see that. I can see where you're coming from with that. So, there should be something here. I wonder if maybe this might showcase with that. So, 5 fast facts you need to know. Right, let's have a look at this. Here's what you need to know. Hopefully this might delve into his early life. Fuck off. Right, let's see. Cover that. Hell and sexual fantasies and his biography. Right, okay. He's listed as a distinguished teaching professor. Former students wrote that definitely had a different point of view. Alumni of Fredonia, you are not happy, but interestingly, some aren't surprised. Oh, let's have a look at these then. He's not a man, he's a male, right? Yeah, he's definitely a male, yeah, of course. Not context. Let's have a look at these. Looks like one of the Fred's professors made the national news. I also took a philosophy class with them, and this is not surprising. I even once did an art project where I interviewed various professors about different questions. His answers threw off all my results because they were so out there. Right. Another one's including having taken philosophy 101 with him without knowing anything about him beforehand. I can't say I'm surprised. I literally saw this post and I thought, I bet it was Krishna. So wait a minute. So this was all. So the people knew about this and never even thought about, hey, maybe we should maybe report this to other people or anything like that, but no, of course not. Oh my god. Right. Let's see. Let's have a look at Wikipedia. Let's have a look at this here. Stephen Kirshner. Let's see here. There must be something here. I don't know if it might pop up on the screen here. I think we're almost towards the end of the show anyway, but hold on one second here. I'll see if I can quickly find him here. If I can't find them, I'll see if what I'll do, folks, is I'm definitely going to be ending the show in just a minute or two. If I can't find it here just now, I'll see if I can have a look at that later on. I'll post it in my Telegram page just for more info about that. But I'll definitely have a look into that as well. So out there, degeneracy, yes, indeed. So, folks, I know that must have been like quite a dark end when it comes to this overall stream, but I hope everyone has enjoyed tonight's episode with that. So it's the fact that more and more of these scumbags are coming out of the woodwork. I mean, like more and more of them every single time. It's definitely worrying times, especially all that stuff is being promoted by the likes of Stephen Kirshner and also people, groups like the S&P and so on and so forth. Anyway, troops, I'm going to end tonight's stream. I hope you all have enjoyed tonight's episode. I shall be back with episode 63 this coming Sunday at 5 p.m. and I'll definitely see if I can cover more topics and then see from there with that. So I'll see you all then. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your evening. I hope you have a great weekend up until Sunday. Of course, that's what I'll be coming back on. And I'll see if I can end the stream with a particular song. Actually, what was the musician someone advised me to play us out with? Oh, and sorry, just before I end tonight, just one last part real quick, if you guys don't mind. As I mentioned in the stream earlier on, again, I'll mention this one last time for the stream. Whether I'm live or if I'm not live, if you would like to support me financially, you could do so by either donating to my Ko-fi page or my PayPal account directly. That is, again, if you would like to. Please don't feel obligated if you need to. If you would like to, then the option is there regarding to that. So you could either donate to either, as I said, my Ko-fi page or my PayPal directly, and the links or in the chat just now if you'd like to, or in the description below if you would like to have a look at that as well. So and I'll just mention that just now. But again, thank you all very much for watching. I shall be back this Sunday, as I mentioned before. I'm just going to put up my banner and I'm going to put up a outro song for tonight's episode. So let me have a look at this real quick and see what song to play us out with. Let me see here. Music. Right, let me see here. What to end us out with. Yeah, everyone's saying good night. Good night to everyone. Thanks again for watching the show. Appreciate you all being here. Let me see here. What to play. Screw it, I'll play this. Why not? I played the song before, but I hope you appreciate the song with that. So, but again, thanks very much for watching. This is Chief Moody signing out. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I shall see you all in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, and good night. Take care.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Here we go. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Here we go.